Hi everybody, this is Boogess Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the brand new Marvel Legends Gamerverse Wolverine and Silver Samurai 2-pack. So before we take a look at Silver Samurai, let's go ahead and take a look at Wolverine and his accessories. So first up, Wolverine comes with 2 claw effects, and these look very nice. They're cast in a translucent plastic with some light blue and dark blue printed over top of that. I love how the collars fade into each other, that looks really awesome. You do have a stand you can peg into the back of both of these, and they kind of want to stand. They're a little bit top heavy, you will have to kind of fiddle with it, but you can get it to stand like that. You can also peg both of these effects together to create one large effect with the slashes going both ways, and I think that looks spectacular. That is very awesome, and I really didn't think that one stand would actually hold both of these effects up, especially since it's a little more weighted towards this side. But if you fiddle with it, you can actually get it standing just with this one stand right here, so that is very awesome. And finally, he comes with an alternate set of hands without his claws out. So now, let's go ahead and take a look at his head sculpt. So taking a look at this head sculpt, I absolutely love this. Hasbro did a very awesome job at this. I also love all of the printed details on his face. The lips, the teeth, as well as a little bit of shading to his skin is actually printed on there, and that looks very awesome. I actually like the bigger ears on the cowl right here. I think that looks really cool. Not only does it work for the game Wolverine, but some artists actually drew him like that. This particular head sculpt kind of reminds me, I think it's how Sam Keith drew Wolverine, because I think he drew him with these big ears on the cowl. So yeah, I honestly think this could also pass for a comic Wolverine. It just looks really awesome. The rest of this figure is also really awesome. He uses, I don't think any other Marvel Legend has used this. He uses a joint right here, a butterfly joint like McFarlane uses. That kind of cup right there. So I'm really happy about that. He has some excellent range of motion in his shoulders right here. I think this is definitely the best articulated Wolverine figure that we've got. It just has some superb articulation, and I'm definitely excited to go over that in a few. The shoulder pads are attached to this joint right here, so you can swivel them all the way around when you're posing him around. I'm quite happy about that. He has some hair painted on his, or printed on his arms, I should say. That doesn't look too bad. He doesn't have a whole lot of paint detail to his suit, other than the black stripes painted on there. I think those are painted really well. I especially love the textures that we get on his trunks and belt. You can see some really awesome leather texturing, as well as some sculpted stitch work. And that is really awesome. I love when we get textures on suits like this. That just looks really awesome. I'm trying to get it to pick up here. But you can actually look and see that they sculpted the stitch work on the blue parts of his suit. And that looks really awesome. I also love when Wolverine's drawn with these really large claws, like this one has. I just really like it when he looks like that. That looks very awesome. This Wolverine is quite bulkier than the previous Wolverine figures that we've seen. I feel like he's a little bit more muscular and bulkier, but he still looks really good. My only big complaint with this figure is he doesn't have a boot swivel. I think it would have been really cool to make a cut right here, because as far as I can tell, his boots are actually a separate piece that's glued to this joint right here. I think. So it's really weird that they didn't articulate that. Would have been really cool if he had a swivel right there. Another complaint is since they did cast this joint right here in black, it's pretty noticeable from the back. They should have painted this blue. I know they have painted joints before. I think they have. So it would have been cool if they would have painted that. I mean, it looks really good on the front here, because the line almost looks pretty seamless with the way they made the joint and the sculpt right here on the line. But yeah, it's a bit distracting from the back there. Before I go over the articulation on this Wolverine, I wanted to try out some head swaps. So the head does pop off really easily. I wanted to do some unmasked Wolverine head sculpts. So the first one I have here is the retro carded Wolverine. The one from the wave that Spiral and Avalanche was in. That looks pretty good. I think that actually looks really good on there. So yeah, if you want to do that, you can. Up next, I have the unmasked X-Men 97 Wolverine head. Oh, I think that looks better. Yeah, that looks really cool on there. I'm really glad that both of those head sculpts that I've tried so far fit on that peg. Yeah, I really like the way that looks. I have one more to try before I go to the articulation. So the last one, which I don't know how this will look, is the Astonishing Wolverine Unmasked Head. And that works as well. I don't think that looks good, but that also does work. So you do have some options if you want him unmasked. Personally, I think the X-Men 97 head sculpt is probably the best if you want a Logan head on there. So now, let's go over his articulation. So he has a ball hinge head that can look all the way up and all the way down. His head can move side to side and around just a little bit. I'm glad that Hasbro realized the double ball peg just wasn't cutting it. I know the ball hinge is kind of dated, but it gives us the best articulation for Marvel Legends. He has shoulders that can move all the way out. He has butterfly joints that can move all the way around. He has a swiveled bicep that can move side to side. Deep cut single jointed elbows that can bend in all the way. I love when companies use these type of joints. I think they just look so much better than double jointed elbows. He can also move side to side up here. He has wrists that can move up and down and spin all the way around. He has a ball jointed diaphragm and waist that can move back all the way. He can move forward all the way. This is an excellent use of the ball jointed waist and diaphragm. That is very awesome. He can move side to side up here and down at the waist and move all the way around. He has hips that can do a complete split. He can kick forward very, very far, back very far, swivel at the thigh, double jointed knees that can move back all the way, ankles that can move down all the way, up all the way, and a nice ankle rocker. So yeah, this is definitely the best articulated Wolverine figure that we got. If you follow me on Instagram, I actually just did some pictures of him. I've had so much fun posing him around. This might be a contender for Marvel Legends of the Year. He is just a superb figure. So now, let's go ahead and take a look at Silver Samurai and his accessories. So first up, Silver Samurai comes with his shuriken effect. This is done in translucent, kind of like a reddish-orange color. And it looks really cool. It comes with a stand like Wolverine has. I actually think it's a little bit wider though. This effect is kind of heavy. It is kind of weighing the stand down. You can see that it's kind of leaning this way a little bit. I also wish that the stand would have been a little bit taller. I wish it would have came to like his waist right here. I think that would have been really cool because it's really low the way it is. If I put it this way, now I guess it's not too far from his waist, but I do wish it would have been just a little bit higher. Up next, he comes with his sword. This is a reuse from the previous Silver Samurai, but this time it's cast in translucent blue plastic, and that looks really awesome. That really pops in person. And finally, he comes with this effect piece for his sword, and that looks very awesome. It's cast in translucent blue plastic, and I think the ends are painted in purple. The way the blue fades into that purple there looks really awesome. So now, let's go ahead and take a look at his head sculpt. So taking a look at this head sculpt, this looks very awesome. It's a little bit of a different design from the previous Silver Samurai figure we got, and I really like that. This one has this really angry expression on his face, and he has a larger helmet. It's cast in this marbleized silver plastic, and it looks really good. You can actually see there's some sparkles mixed in there. So yeah, that looks really, really awesome. This figure does have a bunch of brand new parts on it, and that really surprised me. I honestly thought that he'd share more parts with the previous version of himself, but no, you actually get a bunch of new parts. This new Silver Samurai has a new head, of course, new upper and lower torso, new shoulder pads, new, I don't know what you'd call this, it's not really a loincloth, but a new belt piece with these, and the legs and the arms are reused. That's the only thing that's reused from this previous one. But man, this one looks so much better. He looks bulkier and more intimidating. And I think the red pops on him since it's a brighter shade. I just really like this version way more. His large shoulder pads look really cool. Just like his helmet, they're cast in the marbleized metallic silver collar. And they're actually articulated. So they do just peg into his shoulders like that. So when you're posing him around, you can actually move his shoulder pads. So like if you're wanting to get him in a two-handed pose, you can kind of move his shoulder pads. And I think that is really awesome. I'm glad that you can actually move them whenever you're posing him around. That is really cool. The rest of the figure that's not in the metallic colors, it's cast, I think it's just a gray color, but it's also marbleized. You can see the little marbleization running through the plastic right there. And that looks really good. I didn't realize that he'd have different colors on him. Like his legs are a different color than his arms. That looks really good. As I said, the red on this figure just really pops since it's a brighter shade than the previous version. This part right here is very soft, pliable plastic, so it doesn't hinder his articulation at all. It's the same material that his shoulder pads are cast in. And then there are the legs. As I said, they are the same as the previous Silver Samurai figure. But yeah, this one really surprised me at how much I like him. He's actually a really superb figure. The only thing, which he still has some really good range of motion in his arms. I just wish they would have given him butterfly joints. But other than that, he's a top-notch figure just like Wolverine is. So now, let's go ahead and go over his articulation. So he has a ball hinge head that can look up just about all the way. He can look down all the way. He can move his head side to side. He has shoulders that can move all the way out. As I said, they can move all the way in, so you can get him posed in a two-handed pose here with his sword. You can also get him holding it the opposite way like he does in the game there. He has swivel at the bicep, double-jointed elbows that can bend all the way in, even with those shoulder pads right there. He has wrists that can move up and down and spin all the way around. He has a ball-jointed diaphragm that can move back all the way. He can move forward a nice amount. He can move side to side. It kind of crunches when you do that, and all the way around. His waist swivel is extremely hindered. I'm not sure why that is, because this is a very pliable piece of material. But yeah, he doesn't want to move side to side at all up here. He has ball-jointed hips that can do a complete split. He can kick forward all the way. Back just a little bit. He has a swivel here at the thigh. Double-jointed knees that can move back that far. Swivel at the boot. Swivel ankles that can move down just a little bit, up very slightly, and a nice ankle rocker. So now, let's do some size comparisons. So first up here, they are next to the previous version of Silver Samurai. As I said, I like this one a lot more. I feel like he's a bulkier figure, and I love the expression on his face. He just looks a lot cooler than this one. Here they are next to the Target exclusive Thanos and Psylocke 2-pack. Here they are next to War Machine and Omega Red. Here they are next to Chun-Li and Mega Man. Here they are next to a couple more Wolverine foes, Sabretooth and Lady Deathstrike. Here just Wolverine is next to a couple other versions of himself in this outfit. This is the Apocalypse Wave version and the X-Men 97 version. I couldn't find my Love Triangle 3-pack version. The colors look similar on these, so let's see. You should be able to switch the heads. If you can switch the heads on the Logan head sculpt from this figure, you should be able to switch the main head sculpt. There the X-Men 97 head sculpt is on this new body. I don't know, I don't feel like that looks right. Maybe it's because this is a smaller figure. Maybe that's not it. I mean, the unmasked Wolverine, the Logan head sculpt looks great on this body. But yeah, I don't know if I quite like that regular Wolverine head sculpt on here. And finally, here he is next to the Warlock Wave Cyclops figure and Love Triangle 3-pack Jean Grey. And I really want updates of these two. I think Hasbro could give us some really good updates on both of these figures. We do have the X-Men 97 Cyclops figure, which is great, but he has an animated head sculpt. You know, I want a strictly comic version of Cyclops on that new body mold. And I think Jean Grey could be improved by being on a new body mold with double-jointed elbows. You know, I like that head sculpt, but I feel like they could do better than that nowadays. So yeah, I would like to see Hasbro redo both of these figures at some point. So overall, I would highly recommend picking this 2-pack up because Hasbro did a fantastic job on it. I think both of these figures are stellar, especially Wolverine. Like I said, he might be my favorite Marvel Legend of the year so far. He just looks awesome, and he is articulated so well. As I said, the articulation on him is top-notch, and I haven't put him down since I got him. I've been doing so many pictures of him. And Silver Samurai, surprisingly, he's just as awesome too. Just like with the Psylocke and Thanos pack, I wasn't really looking to the second figure in the set, but Silver Samurai really surprised me. We get more new parts on him than I thought we'd have, and he just looks really cool. So yeah, even Silver Samurai in this pack is really awesome. So yeah, definitely don't sleep on this set. This is probably one of my favorite, if not my actual favorite, sets of Marvel Legends that Hasbro has done this year. It is just really awesome. And honestly, I can see Wolverine becoming really hard to get like the 97 one did. So if you're running this set, definitely get it while it's in stock at places, because I think this Wolverine is going to be very sought after in the future. So, that's my review. If you like this review, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.